At 04:52 a.m., September 14th, 2025, the Su-24 bomber callsign Silver Wolf flies so low its radar altimeter blares a piercing warning, every gust threatening to slam the 43-ton jet into the Russian countryside. But any higher and he becomes a Christmas light for the most advanced air defense system Russia has ever built, the S-400 Triumph. Its radar is sweeping the sky above him right now, a giant invisible net he has to fly under. The problem is that net is just 100 feet tall, and he's not even the craziest one out here tonight. 497 miles from home, a pack of 20 Palianytsia drones is doing the same thing, at just 50 feet. They are ghosts whispering over the earth, their AI brains making hundreds of microcorrections a second just to stay airborne this close to the ground for this long. Their target is the glowing heart of Russia's northern war machine, the Kirishi oil refinery. A $5.79 billion asset protected by layers of radar jamming and missiles. This facility fuels thousands of tanks and supports Russia's Black Sea fleet, pumping 355,000 barrels of gasoline and diesel daily. 05:15 a.m., Silver Wolf banks hard left, pulling 3 Gs as he executes a maneuver that makes no tactical sense on paper. He's not flying towards Kirishi, he's flying a massive 547-mile arc around Finland. This insane detour is the only reason he's still alive. The S-400's radar horizon is a straight line, but the Earth is curved. He's not just hiding himself, he's hiding his cargo, 4 550-pound AASM Hammer smart bombs aimed at the refinery's heart, and 2 AGM-88 HARM anti-radiation missiles designed to tear out the S-400's eyes if it ever sees it. By flying this precise, pre-calculated route at just 100 feet, he is staying perfectly within the planet's own shadow, keeping that deadly payload invisible. And then his GPS display dissolves into a blizzard of static. The Krasuka 4 has woken up, but Silver Wolf just smirks. He flicks a switch, and his route reappears solid and true. He's not navigating by satellite. He's using an inertial navigation system. Jamming GPS is like screaming at a pilot to confuse him. Using INS is like navigating when you're already deaf. The screaming doesn't matter. Meanwhile, the Palianytsia Wolfpack is executing its own 497-mile journey, a silent, deadly arrow flying at a terrifying 50 feet. Their AI brains are doing the same calculation as Silver Wolf, but they're also using real-time Starlink data to adjust for wind shear and dodge power lines that appear out of the fog like spider webs. Inside the S-400 command bunker near Kirishi, an operator takes a sip of cold coffee. His screen shows nothing but green. He doesn't know that 21 ghosts are screaming towards his position just below his line of sight. It's 05:28 a.m. Let's be clear, the system guarding Kirishi is a monster. On paper, it's perfect. The S-400 is a steel giant whose 92 N6E gravestone radar can track 300 separate targets from 250 miles away. Its missiles cost $1 million apiece for a reason. Everything seemed to be working flawlessly. Inside the command bunker, the Russian operator Sergei saw a screen that was a sea of calm green. The sky was clean. But what Sergei didn't know, what his billion-dollar system couldn't tell him, was that the attack wasn't coming from the sky. It was coming from the floor. 20 Palianytsia drones were currently gliding under his radar beam, exploiting the one enemy no Russian engineer could defeat: the curvature of the Earth. It's like trying to spot a mouse by staring at the ceiling. This was a fatal oversight. The even bigger problem was the S-400 had another secret, a flaw hard-coded into its DNA. It's an incredible piece of technology capable of calculating hundreds of intercept trajectories simultaneously. It can count, but only up to 300. So what happens when you throw 301 problems at a machine that can only solve 300? Ukraine was about to find out. 05:32 a.m. The Russian operator's screen explodes. Hundreds of phantom contacts flood his display simultaneously. This is the moment the Decoy drones execute their primary function. They've just spoofed more targets than the S-400's brain is physically designed to handle, and the S-400 reacts. Its automated defense protocol fires a volley of million-dollar missiles desperately chasing ghosts. But this is the fatal flaw in its design. By screaming at the top of its electronic lungs to target the decoys, the S-400's radar pulses like a blazing beacon, screaming its position across the Russian night. 50 miles away, Silver Wolf's cockpit confirms it. His warning receiver isn't chirping, it's a solid wall of sound. He has a lock, He fires two AGM-88 Harm missiles. They don't need to see the S-400. They just follow the noise accelerating towards the radar source at over Mach 2. And in this precise window of chaos, as the giant is blinded and deafened, the 10 real killer drones cross the final perimeter. They are now inside the fence, and they are utterly invisible. 5:32:05 a.m. The harms are gone. For Silver Wolf, the next 90 seconds are the longest of his life. He is now just a spectator hurtling through the dark at Mach 1, waiting to see if the two missiles he just fired will succeed in tearing out the giant's eyes. His entire mission now hinges on that single event. While he waits, Phase 2 of his plan unfolds. 10 icons representing his killer drones detach from the main group and dive towards the refinery. Their mission to methodically destroy the local sensor towers and auxiliary radars, the refinery's eyes and ears before his own bombs arrive. But the Russians are not waiting to die. The Panzer S-1 operator, a professional in a storm of chaos, ignores the electronic blizzard from the dying S-400. His local radar locks onto the low-level threat. He acts. A stream of 30mm rounds tears a $50,000 drone to shreds. A second later, a missile takes out another. On his display, Silver Wolf sees two of his friendly icons just vanish. His plan was to blind the refinery's local eyes. The problem, the Russians are shooting his flashlights out one by one. His 20-second window to drop the bombs is about to open. But the room on the other side might not be as dark as he'd hoped. Everything now comes down to a brilliant white flash on the horizon. 05:33:35 a.m. A brilliant, silent flash erupts on the western horizon, so bright it momentarily washes out Silver Wolf's night vision. The giant is blind. The 20-second window is open. Wolf is climbing, engaging target. He barks, hauling back on the stick. The Su-24 shudders violently, its engine screaming in protest as it claws for altitude. This is the ultimate gamble. He is trading the life-saving invisibility of low-altitude flight for the kinetic energy his bombs need to glide 43 miles to their target. It's a physics problem with a potentially fatal answer. He is intentionally making himself the single biggest, juiciest target in the entire Russian sky. But the Russian Hornets are not dead. The Panzer operator, his main data link, now a stream of dead static, is a trained professional. He does exactly what he's supposed to. He switches to his independent local optical and thermal sensors, and he sees it. A lone Su-24, its afterburners painting a perfect thermal bullseye against the cold pre-dawn sky as it climbs. It's the easiest shot he'll have all night. He gets a lock. Swarm, execute, escape, protocol, expend all. Silver Wolf commands his voice ice cold. This is the final desperate gambit. The surviving 8 killer drones instantly abort their mission of attacking the perimeter. Their new directive is simple: save the wolf. They rocket skyward, flying directly towards the Panzer system, their engines glowing white-hot on the operator's thermal scope. They have just transformed from scalpels into 8 incoming suicide missiles. The Panzer operator is now faced with the ultimate tactical dilemma: shoot the high-value bomber that's still miles away and climbing, or shoot the 8 angry fireflies that are about to slam into his position in the next 10 seconds. It's like choosing between the sniper a mile away and the guy running at you with a knife. He chooses survival. 05:33:50 a.m. As the Panzer's twin 30mm cannons swivel violently to shred the incoming drone swarm, filling the air with a hurricane of tungsten, Silver Wolf's targeting screen snaps to a perfect solid green. He has his solution. Bombs away! He grunts, feeling the 4 distinct heavy thunks as 200 pounds of munitions release from under his wings. The jet feels suddenly lighter, more agile. The moment the last bomb is clear, he shoves the stick forward into a brutal, gut-wrenching dive, pulling negative Gs as he throws the Su-24 back into the Earth's shadow. He leaves the fireworks display behind him, the fiery deaths of his drone shield buying him the precious seconds he needs to escape. 4 550-pound angels of death are now gliding silently through the stratosphere, their inertial navigation systems guiding them on a 43-mile journey. And the real show, the $579 billion finale, is about to begin. The battle for Kirishi was over. The execution had just begun. 4 550-pound AASM Hammer bombs are now gliding through the thin, cold air of the stratosphere. The chaos of the dogfight, the roar of the Panzer's cannons, the screams of dying drones, all of it is miles behind them. Down below, Russian fire crews are scrambling their sirens, wailing as they race towards the refinery's perimeter, towards the smoking craters where the drones had struck. They're running to the wrong fire. The real threat is silent, it's invisible, and it's moving at 600 miles per hour. 10 miles out, the bombs begin their terminal dive, pitching their noses down towards the earth. From the ground, they are invisible. From the Russian command's perspective, the attack is over. The drones have been shot down. The enemy bomber has fled. A sense of confused relief begins to set in. 5 seconds to impact. The furnace, the hydrocarbon heart of the refinery, looms in the bomb's onboard optical sensors. It is a perfect match for the target image loaded into their memory. 5:34:40 a.m., the first AASM Hammer punches. Its hardened steel nose cone, traveling at nearly the speed of sound, hits the furnace's main housing. It blasts through the outer steel wall, through insulation, and through a secondary reinforced concrete liner before its internal timer, programmed with a precise delay, reaches zero. It is now inside the beast. The 550-pound warhead detonates. The initial blast generates an overpressure wave of 3,500 psi, turning steel and concrete into shrapnel. But this is just the primer. The real destruction comes from a fatal design flaw the Ukrainian intelligence knew was there: the old Soviet-era ventilation shafts connecting the primary furnace to the secondary catalytic crackers. The fireball, a 2,000-degree Fahrenheit demon of burning explosive and superheated gas, finds these vents. It's no longer an explosion. It's a fuel-air bomb being injected directly into the refinery's circulatory system. The wave of fire and pressure rips through the pipes, igniting the volatile hydrocarbon gases within. A catastrophic chain reaction begins. A second later, the second bomb strikes a different section of the furnace, then the third, then the fourth. The waves of their individual explosions meet, multiply, and amplify, creating a single cataclysmic event. The ground shakes. The furnace doesn't just rupture, it's torn apart from the inside out in a controlled volcanic eruption. The heart of Kirishi has just been vaporized. On the ground, it's a scene from hell. The secondary explosions begin as thousands of tons of refined fuel cook off. Within minutes, a pillar of black smoke is visible from 50 miles away. NATO's orbital assets show an uncontrollable inferno, a heat signature so massive it's visible from space. The numbers don't lie. 40% of the facility's production, 142,000 barrels per day, is gone. That's a direct economic hit of $200 million per month. That's enough fuel for 50,000 tank movements that will now never happen. The Russian war machine's northern logistical chain has just been severed at the artery. Miles away, streaking home at treetop level, Silver Wolf sees the glow on the horizon. He has no idea of the full extent of the damage. All he knows is that his drone shield worked. He is alive, and his mission is complete. He has traded a $900,000 investment of drones, bombs, and fuel for a direct hit on a $5.79 billion asset. That's a return on investment of over 64,000%. Not even the best hedge fund on Wall Street could deliver that. So now that Ukraine has proven they can reach deep into Russian territory to cripple its economy, what critical infrastructure do you think they should target next? Let me know your war plan in the comments.